Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Red with Forever Red Trucking LLC, and I'm here to talk to you about an exciting new partnership with Sander Synthetic Oils, an independent dealer through AMSOIL. At AMSOIL.com, you guys can find anything and everything for automotive. We're talking motor oils, lubricants, transmission fluid, you name it, it's definitely going to be on here. And if you guys check out their website through the link in the description of this video, not only do I get a little kickback, but you guys also can apply to be a preferred customer and save up to 25% on each product that you purchase. Any orders over $100, you get free shipping. And on top of that, if you spend $500 in a year, you can also qualify for a free preferred membership for the following year. And like I said, they have literally everything. Any oil you need for your toys, they got it. For your semi-truck, they got it. They got, like I said, they got steering brakes, suspension fluids. They got fifth wheel grease. They got stuff for your chainsaw, ATVs, UTVs, coolant, all that kind of stuff. Now, I know as a truck driver, a lot of this stuff can really come in handy. And if I can save a little bit of money while I'm doing it, I think that's a great deal. So be sure to check us out. The link will be down in the description below. And let me know what you guys think of it in the comments section. Thanks so much. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Red with Forever Red Trucking LLC. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about synergizing with your company. Now, most of this information comes from my experience here at Well, but I feel like it could be important with many other companies out there. And I'll start by, answering probably the most important question is, what do you mean by synergizing with your company? So what I really mean is about a month after you start leasing with any company out there, I feel like it's super important that you start paying close attention to, how their loads are. Not how they run per se, but what type of customers are you going to? What type of freight are you hauling? What type of pickups and deliveries can that entail? In terms of the process, time frames, etc. So to give an example of this, Well Companies tends to haul a lot of miscellaneous food products through their own warehouses and various other customers where we pick up and then drop them off at our yards or grocery warehouses. So that can be anything from meat to, lots of chips and dips, or chip dips, I should say, like French onion dip, stuff like that. I hauled that quite a few times. Drinks, all kinds of stuff. It's just miscellaneous food products for the most part. And a lot of what I did at Well was delivered to grocery warehouses. So, with that kind of comes a wide variety of delivery appointments. And for the most part, it all kind of works the same. You'll be delivering in the early morning hours or potentially the late evening hours, 10, 11 o'clock to, let's say, 4 a.m., 6 a.m., something like that, is pretty standard for reefer deliveries into a grocery warehouse. And how I could be synergistic with this is, we all know that most grocery warehouses are a giant pain in the butt when it comes to changing your appointment. They don't like it when you're late, but hell, if you're early, they still don't want to work with you 99.9% of the time, at least in my personal experience. I've been always early, an hour plus early for all my deliveries. If I'm a day early, I finally got to a point where I don't worry about going into the customer, because 9 times out of 10, I'm talking like 9.99 times out of 10, they won't take me a day early. So I'm having to turn around and go to a truck stop anyway. So I'd rather just stop at a truck stop, maybe stay 40, 50 miles outside of major metropolitan area so that I don't have to worry about fighting too much to get a parking spot, because those truck stops always tend to be packed to the brim, people parked all over the place because people are assholes. again, this is what I've personally done, and this is how personally I approach synergizing with what well does. I don't overwork myself. I was on average working an 8-hour day for the last 2.5 months. First couple of weeks, I was like, okay, we'll go balls to the walls and see how well that works. But at the end of the day, like I said, I decided that was not the way to run these loads. And as a result, my fuel expenses went down, my fatigue levels went down. I was far less stressed out, far less fatigued. It was just a lot more relaxing. It was easy peasy. I mean, for someone who has a couple of years experience, it's very easy. Yeah, you want to run hard and you want to work hard for them and you want to get as many loads as you can done, but if you don't synergize with the way their freight works and you're either working too hard or too little based on how they have their stuff set up, it really can cause problems. If you're running too hard and you're getting to the deliveries way too soon, then you're sitting, which means you're potentially idling or using fuel through the APU, and that's just a waste. You know what I mean? And yeah, granted, I did that quite a bit, but I had already done my running. I didn't have to run 75 miles an hour for 10 hours a day. You know what I mean? The truck got a lot less wear because when I was able to, granted, most of the time personally I did not, but if I had done things the right way, okay, I even recognize that I did this the wrong way, but had I done this the right way, I would have been driving 65 to 68 miles an hour, taking my time, because I was anyway. I was just getting to wherever I was heading a lot faster by driving faster. But if I had taken my time a little bit more, slowed the truck down, not only would I have improved my fuel economy, but I've also would have reduced the wear on the truck even just that much more, basically. But even still, the truck was still averaging 8 to 8.5 miles to a gallon, which is good. I was still, doing my little system of run it down to a quarter to an eighth of a tank, fill it up. That's the way I did it. And on average, I was finishing, 3 or 4 loads before I'd have to fuel up again. So, and that's really what made the biggest difference in my paychecks is I was spending more at the pump, but it was happening less often. Spending $450 at the pump 5 times a week because I'm fueling up every day or every other day is the same thing as spending $800 at the pump twice or 3 times a week. And what that also allowed me to do is it allowed me to, again, synergize with the way that their loads are, because some of them are super heavy and a lot of them are, between 22 and 35,000 pounds. So when I had a lighter load, I could run a little bit faster and still get the same fuel economy, or at least my truck did. And like I said, it helped keep my expenses low, and that kept my revenue high. To give a more efficient example of this, in my first month with Well, the truck grossed $20,000. In my second full month with Well, the truck grossed $27,000. So I don't have the numbers for October yet, but the point is that I was already able to make that much of a jump in my overall revenue, not only because I was getting good paying loads, but because I was also maximizing my biggest expense. I was maxing as much fuel as I put in the truck. I was maximizing it as much as humanly possible. Let me make this a little bit smaller. It's bothering me. I was maximizing the fuel as much as possible so that I could keep my revenue as high as possible. And I feel like that's a pretty good trick, especially with the cost of fuel being so ridiculously high right now. I'd say instead of fueling up more often, to try and spend less per fill, I'd say utilize what you got. Now, granted, with wintertime coming, that could be a lot more difficult. Because you're going to be running your APU or idling a little bit more. So that's where you calculate all that in. And running down to 1/8 of a tank is probably not a good idea. I would say maybe run down to, a quarter tank so that you still have plenty of fuel before you fill up, so that you're not going to run out of fuel in case you got to go a little ways. But, or at least with these fuel efficient trucks, you should be able to make that happen. I know my truck on 1/8 of a tank, I could still, I think a couple of times I squeezed about 120 miles out of it on 1/8 of a tank. So, it's hard to keep track of sometimes because I'm not a super big numbers guy. I'm not a great mathematician. So, it's hard for me to explain stuff like that in a mathematical sense. But, the numbers don't lie. And I'm not being shy with that stuff. It's just I haven't been home to be able to edit those documents to hide my personal information to show you guys here. But now that I am, like I said in my last video, the quality of my videos is going to go way up. The more I get to play with programs like this, and the more that I get to, experiment and learn how to photo edit and stuff, because I'm self-taught when it comes to video editing, photo editing, and all that. I'm self-taught, so bear with me a little bit, guys. I'm not being shy. I will show you guys. If you guys want to see my profit and loss statements from my months at Well, I'm not at all afraid to show that to you guys. I no longer have access to digital copies of my paychecks. So, but hope is not lost. I have physical copies of all of them. So, I can get those scanned in, and I'm not afraid to show you guys those either. But what I would prefer to do with that type of information is that if you would really like to see that, so you kind of get proof of what I'm talking about, proof that I'm not just spouting bullshit, and that there is, what I would call success out of the numbers that I'm talking about. Everyone's version of success is just a little bit different. Some people might say, oh, well, a $1,500 load, that's bad money. Well, there's no such thing as bad money. Money is money. It's how you maximize your money. A $1,500 run or $1,500 for a 1,000-mile run may sound pretty bad to some people, but if you know how to maximize it and get, let's say $900 out of that, and it's a day and a half worth of work, just made $900 in a day and a half. I don't view that as bad money. So anyway, if you guys want some more, if you guys want some proof, again, I don't have any problems with sending some information over to individuals. So hit me up in the comment section down below via my phone number. I can text it to you, or we can talk about it on the phone. You can send me your email, and I'll email it to you. It's not a big deal. Not something I'm trying to hide. I just need time to scan those in and, take my personal information and either delete it or whatever, so that I'm not sharing that. But other than that, guys, it's super important to be in sync with what your company is trying to do. With a company like Well, they're an LTL company for the most part. You know what I mean? They do a lot of less than truckloads. They do a lot of multi-stop loads. They do a lot of grocery warehouses. They do a lot of, it's 100% reefer, and it's a lot of food products. Like, you're going to be dealing with a lot of grocery warehouses, a lot. So once you get in kind of tune of how that works and what that looks like, you'll kind of see where I'm talking about. Like, oh man, I don't have to run this 660-mile run. I don't, if it delivers on Monday, and I already know that they're not going to reschedule this, why would I be in a rush? Why would I drive 75 miles an hour? Gotta go. Why would I have that mentality when I already know that there's nothing I can do to speed up the process, and I can still finish 4 loads this week? You know what I mean? If each load has a day and a half worth of time on it, I can still finish 4 loads. So before the cutoff. So, that's all I'm trying to say, guys. trying to get in sync with your company. If you come over here to Well, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. To those of you who are already here and watch my videos, my best advice to you is to work closely with your fleet manager and get a good mix of short runs and long runs. Get a good mix. You want short runs, 300, 400, 500 miles, longer runs, 1,000 plus, and then your runs somewhere in between. Do 2 to 4 of those loads each week, and you will see a massive improvement in your overall net and gross. So that's my advice. Again, I'm not going to be shy. Reach out to me. More than happy to share some information with you privately. So anyway, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to reach out. I'll leave my personal phone number. I'll leave Greg's number like usual. Also, be sure to check out Sanders Synthetic Oils down in the description down below. If you guys have any toys or anything sitting at home, cars, SUVs, what have you, ATVs, motorhomes, all your fancy toys, boats, chainsaws. If it takes oil, AMSOIL's got something for you, so be sure to check them out. Become a preferred customer. Help out your boy a little bit, and save yourself some money at 25% on each of your products. And if you spend $100, free shipping, and $500 in a year earns you a free preferred membership for the next year, and it's only $20 for a year. So it's a pretty damn good deal. Save yourself some money. They got fifth wheel grease, they got coolant, they got all that kind of stuff. Why pay the inflated prices in the truck stop when you can save 25%, have it shipped to your house for free or to your company for free to be used at your discretion, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to spend $35 on a gallon of antifreeze in the truck stop, if you want something decent, because if you take care of your truck, it takes care of you. But anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Winter time's coming. It's very important you guys stay extra vigilant right now. So anyway, hit me up in the comments. We'll talk to you later. Peace.